to our English class. Our lesson for today is on visual-verbal relationship. For today's learning objectives, at the end of this video lesson, you will be able to first interpret data presented in tables, graphs, and information map. Present information using a diagram and explain the importance of visual-verbal relationships in a table, graph, and information map found in expository texts. The use of visuals helps in understanding data or information. Without reading much the text, one may easily identify and classify the given information through visual presentations, such as graphs and tables. So in this lesson, it helps you to understand visual elements that accompany text in order to improve comprehension, especially when dealing with informative materials. You will also come to know the different visuals that you may use to present important information along with your expository text. But wait, what is an expository text? Expository texts are designed to explain, inform, and present facts of specific topics. These texts can be accompanied by visual cues to provide or further highlight an information. Examples of expository texts are news articles, informational books, and instructional manuals. Take a moment to think back on the many textbooks you have used throughout your education. Those textbooks are designed to present facts and information. And if you observe, textbooks contain graphics. These graphics are included to broaden understanding, so students must know how to read and interpret them, as they are essential aspects of understanding the material. Examples of visual elements are graphs, tables, maps, and illustrations. Their primary function is to improve comprehension of a reading material. The concept of visual-verbal symbiosis is rooted in the idea that visuals support verbals and vice versa. And Doyer in 1988 found a symbiotic relationship between verbal and visual literacies when the two are combined to facilitate a student achievement. Now, do you find it interesting to learn about graphics? This is very essential for you to learn about because you're going to meet graphics in all your subjects, especially in mathematics. Now let's go on the examples of visual or graphic elements. It's good if you take down notes. For letter A, we have graphs. Graphs are diagrams showing the relation between variable quantities, typically of two variables, each measured along a pair of axes at right angles. So this is a relationship of two or more things. There are types of graphs. Number one is a bar graph. A bar graph shows numbers that are independent of each other. It presents data with rectangular bars with heights or lengths proportional to the value that they present. So this figure here is an example of a bar graph, which shows scores on a pretest and a test. Number two is a line graph. A line graph shows you how numbers have changed over a period of time. It usually has continuous data along a vertical, the y-axis, and the horizontal, the x-axis dimensions. The y-axis usually shows you the value of whatever variable being measured, and the x-axis commonly presents when it was measured, either chronologically or based on other independent variables. This is a graph that uses lines to connect individual data points, displaying quantitative values over a specified time interval, meaning to say, it shows information that changes over time. In this example, we can see that Russell's height changes every 3 years. His height is 2 feet when he was 3 years old. Next type of a graph is pictograph or pictogram. This is a special type of bar graph. Instead of using axes with numbers, it uses pictures to represent a particular number of items. So in this example, it uses pictures of glasses to represent numbers. The fourth type is a pie graph or pie chart. It shows you how a whole is divided into different parts. In this example, it shows a circle that is divided into sectors to illustrate how much water is used. Another type of visual element is tables. Tables, also known as matrix, refers an orderly arranged quantitative data in columns and rows. So it uses columns and rows to present data. Another is maps. Maps refer to collection of data showing the spatial arrangement or distribution of something over an area. Next is caption graphics. A caption graphics provide a title, short explanation, or description accompanying an illustration or a photograph. We can see in the example that there is a text below the image, and that is what we call caption. Our last example is flowcharts. It shows the sequence of movements or actions of people or things involved in a complex system or activity. It is simply a graphical representation of steps. It shows steps in sequential order and widely used in presenting a flow or processes. Typically, it shows the steps as boxes of various kinds and their order by connecting them with arrows. Okay, so that's all for the visual elements. Once again, what are those visual elements? These are graphs, tables, maps, caption graphics, and flowcharts. They capture your reader's attention and help them to understand your ideas more fully. They are like the illustrations that help tell the story. These visuals help to augment your written ideas and simplify complicated textual descriptions. They can help the reader understand a complicated process or trends in the data. But if you have a visual elements in your documents, they must be based on and supplement your written content for the reader not to be confused. For this lesson's activity, you're going to study the chart and then answer the questions that follow. Upon receiving this video, you are going to answer these questions in a separate paper, then give it to your parents for them to submit it in the school, or second option, send it to my messenger. For question number 1, what information does chart 1 present? In 10 seconds, write your answers. Time's up. Number 2. How many sections is chart 1 divided into? Write your answers now. Number 3. What percentage represents the incoming SPG-9 Martin Luther King Jr. students? Write your answers. Or, what grade level has the most number of enrollees? Time starts. Time's up. For the last question, what grade level has the most number of enrollees? Time starts. Time's up. For this activity, read the text and interpret the table in the following slide. Answer the questions based from the data in the table. Let's read Tara's new garden. Tara couldn't wait to make a new flower garden in her backyard. She got the soil ready for the new plants. Here is a table of what she planted in the new garden. Continue to answer the questions and you will be given 5 minutes to do this activity. You may pause the video for a while, then replay it when you're done answering.